All right, BPG podcast. We're back
with 2 guests today.
Yeah, Brett and Michaela. They went and did a Hyrox. So, do you guys want to start by talking a little bit about like what is Hyrox?
Yeah, because I have a very general idea of what it is, but I honestly don't really understand it. Like you see people doing it, but tell us more in depth, like after doing it.
So it's super cool. It's a global fitness race. It's been around since like 2018, 2019, and it's essentially a running race. So you run 8 kilometers, but you do it a kilometer at a time. So then in between each kilometer, you do a functional exercise.
Okay.
And you're racing against like people, but it's like your age group and that kind of thing, and you're really just kind of racing for yourself. Racing against yourself and your times and trying to beat your time each race. So it's a really fun thing. The 8 exercises are a 1,000-meter ski. Then you have a 50-meter sled push, a 50-meter sled pull, 80 meters of burpee broad jumps, a 1,000-meter row, 200-meter farm carry, 100-meter sandbag lunge, and then 100 wall balls at the end. And each of the divisions have different weights that you do and like different standards. And there's like singles open, like men and women, singles pro, men and women doubles, and then mixed doubles. And there's doubles pro too. But the most important part of it is it's a running race, and then like you're throwing in some exercises, in between it all, but like you're primarily spending your time doing the run.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of people like really training for the strength components of it, but it's actually primarily an endurance run event.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, you do the exercises and you're done so fast. And you're like, crap, I'm back to running
again. I gotta run again.
So like, did you feel like you spent most of your time running? Like,
Absolutely.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
When you say 8 kilometers, like my head, Kingsport people just goes to crazy 8s. So in my brain, I'm like, okay, crazy 8s with some strength stuff mixed in every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like running the crazy 8s, but doing a lower body power day every few minutes in between it.
Oh my gosh. This sounds horrible.
There are elements that are horrible.
As somebody though who like leans into the strength side of things over running, having strength stuff mixed in as like a break from running kind of sounds good.
It does.
Yeah,
that's one
true.
of the parts that I really liked. Like it just kind of broke it up, and you're like, okay, I got this for a second.
That's definitely true. I actually have a question about, you said that you kind of race against yourself. So like if you all were to do another Hyrox, does Hyrox record the score and like time or whatever they call it?
Yeah. So at the end, like you have your like results page, and you have like a profile attached to your name. So when you click it, it'll pull up each of your races that you've done. For whatever reason, when you click on Brett's, it said he did one like in 2024. He didn't. So someone's randomly gotten connected to him.
Yeah.
I was very fast.
You were
back
fast?
in the day.
Yeah.
But so it keeps track of everything for you.
Oh, that's very cool. I didn't know that about Hyrox, that it was like a you versus you type of thing. Other than if you're like pro, right? You're racing against others.
I mean, there's like the Elite 15 and like people out there racing to win. But the vast majority of the people that were there, they were just racing
doing
for
the event.
themselves.
Yeah.
So do they also give you a ranking?
Yes, but like you have a number attached to you like throughout the race.
Sure.
Just like any running thing, like you're ranked, but I think like the Elite 15, like you have to go to Worlds and all of that to get that.
Sure. Yeah.
We're
And
not
like
that
on the
level.
results page of it too, like the results page are kind of hard to go through because it will show you where you finished depending on everybody else. Like you don't really get to break it down by your age group or like your start group of people that you were with. It's just kind of where you are in the pecking order of everybody.
You mean like in the entirety of Hyrox, not just the event?
The whole event,
Of
yeah.
the one that you did.
The one that you did,
Yes.
not just everyone doing.
Not just everyone.
Okay.
Just the one
Because I
you
know
have
they
to
have
do.
several different events, like in different cities, right?
Absolutely, yeah. There's like tons and tons.
And
of
you
them
all did
globally.
Miami,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
We did Miami.
What made you all decide to do a Hyrox? And then like what made you all decide to do it like together versus by yourself or
Yeah, so every year, at the beginning of the year, we make like a goals list, and usually that there's a fitness component to it, whether it's always been like pull-ups or push-ups or handstands, and usually the Crazy Eights is on there because that's one that I always like to do. But we were kind of getting that list together, and we were in the airport back in December, and I was just scrolling through my phone and on Instagram, and all of a sudden Hyrox pops up, and then like for an hour, I just sat there watching Hyrox videos, and I was like, this is really cool. I want to do this. So then I showed it to him, and you were immediately like, okay, I'm doing it with you.
Yeah, she was like, I'm going to do a Hyrox. And I was like, well, I guess I will
guess
too.
I am too.
So that's
I
how we
love that.
decided.
Josh and I do that at the beginning of every year too. Like we have like a list of goals, like some's fitness related, some's not, but we like reanalyze and like choose different things we want to work on.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool that y'all did it together because I feel like that makes it a lot easier.
And that
Just
made
to
your
train for.
training more fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's a lot of running.
Yes.
Yeah, and one of us definitely did not do enough running leading into the first race.
It was Michaela, right?
I
Definitely
absolutely
Michaela.
So like when you talk, so obviously like talk us through, y'all started like running to train for it a little bit. Like what else did you do to start training?
So, like, we really picked up our effort on the training days. Like, we're usually Monday through Friday. We started adding Saturdays into it, mixing up mornings and afternoons, running before or after class. And then we started adding in creatine with our protein shakes and stuff. But as far as, like, strength training goes, we just added an extra day, put in a little more effort on the days. And that was about it. I mean, the strength training side of it, getting prepared for the stations, I mean, what we do here pretty much was right on cue with what we needed to do to start with.
Yeah. What do you feel like from BPG like helped translate over the best for the Hyrox race?
Really, like the power days. That was essentially like crucial to them. The sled pushes, the sled pulls that we do. Doing like the sprints and like with the going as fast as you can with the sleds, like lighter weights, even though in the race it's a heavy weight, like you're used to trying to push it as fast as you can instead of just like being steady. The erg sprints and just trying to manage having your heart rate up was super helpful. Like being able to get on the runner after doing everything and being like, okay, now I need to figure out how to get my heart rate back down. Like this is where I'm trying to recover. And then like the farm carries, in class we're going slow and controlled and really working on that grip strength. Well, we're used to having load for long durations of time. So when we did the Hyrox and you're like trying to run with the kettlebells and get around as fast as you can, it made it super easy and like felt quick. And then like doing lunges and all the single leg stuff, that really helped a ton.
I think the biggest thing that helped me was especially the sled pull when we do the ropes with the hand over hand pulls. Because, the Hyrox, there's the carpet, and, we have really good turf here.
Yeah.
So, like, our sleds at the Hyrox felt probably 30 to 40 pounds heavier than what the weight actually was, and some people were really struggling with it. But, I take this back to Uriel, too. He's always like, oh, let's add another plate. Let's add a few more pounds.
Pushing you.
And it's like, I'm sitting there pulling this rope at the Hyrox, and I was like, all of those extra plates really did help as we got going.
You were thanking Uriel in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out Uriel.
Yeah, I think that's like, when I think about any time that like I've competed in some sort of sporting event in the past, like that extra intensity that you have to approach your workouts with. So like if you're preparing for something like this, it seems like it would be important to kind of push and get your heart rate up and then work on like the metabolic conditioning of being able to like get it back down during the rests and all that stuff.
And it was just good. Like we didn't change up anything. Like we just added to, but having the programming like it is here, we weren't overtraining. I joined like Hyrox Facebook groups and everything, and people were constantly selling their tickets because they're like, oh, I'm hurt, I've torn this, I've done this.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's some really bad training happening for this, so I felt really lucky that we had a system in place. Like we know what we're gonna do, we have consistency coming here, and we
Yeah.
just built around that framework.
Yeah, and I think people, when they sign up for something like a Hyrox event, they just get really excited. And so they just like ramp up their training, which is totally human.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've talked about this on live streams before, though. You really want like a foundational base, which it sounds like Power Days was that for you, for your event. And then you just add any kind of specific event things like the running, like you said.
Yeah, and I don't want to, I mean, I was about to say, I don't want to fall down a rabbit hole, but
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and
We're
fall
good
down
at
it. No, but I mean, I think that that's the thing is that there are a lot of these things that are at a Hyrox we do in our class here at BPG or something similar while we maybe don't do wall balls, like we're doing goblet squats and things that have the same movement pattern.
And even squat press.
Yeah, squat press. We do use the med balls for like slams and stuff like that, but they could be new skills for some people, like things that they have never encountered before. And so if you just jump into those full force without any foundation or base,
And you just go 100%.
yeah, like you are going to end up overtraining because they're new skills. Like your body's
Yeah.
not adapted to it yet.
Well, and then you add in potential under fueling and like maybe their sleep is crap, you know, all of those things will compound.
Yeah. Brett had mentioned we typically have never really taken supplements or anything. So
Yeah.
we started taking creatine and like increased our nutrition. Just we've always been like focused on it, but just adding in those extra
things, yeah.
calories and stuff just to supplement the increase in the training that we had. So we could actually recover to keep going.
To continue your level of training that you were doing because you're running a lot.
How did that feel, like mentally adjusting, like your eating and your supplements with more of like a performance mindset?
It was very healing for me. I've always struggled with that. So being able to have like a true reason to have that shift other than I just know I need to, it was very healing and like it felt really good.
Yeah, and like for me, like I've always struggled on the nutritional side of things. I'm like, I get up, I go to the gym, I do all the things, but having a performance target in mind, it's like I need to get my stuff together to get to where I want to be at by the time we start this race. So it's like having that target in mind, it's like I need to really buckle down and work on this to be where I want to be at.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes those like day-to-day choices a little easier because like every
does.
time you're faced with a choice, you're like, okay, I've got this goal.
Yeah.
Yes. And especially with nutrition, when you take more of that performance mindset approach with it, you can actually feel it. Because like I'm sure you could feel on days where like on Saturdays you said you'd sometimes come to class and then go run after.
Yeah.
Like you could feel if you were under fueled for like that run after class too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like probably, a month or so into our creatine eating route, it's like we just felt so much better. And it's
Yeah.
like going through the classes and stuff, like our weight started to go up and our effort was going up and like we just felt better as a whole.
That's cool because that's like also like an applicable habit for even after and beyond the Hyrox to like see those results and then carry it over. Did you all do anything different with fueling like for the Hyrox race or during the Hyrox race? How did that feel as you were like like day of?
So that was terrifying because we had like a 5:10.
Yeah, we had a 5:10 p.m. start time.
Yeah.
So we're used to getting up early and working out early.
Like you're getting close to
And-
bedtime at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like we got our start time. It's like, oh, this is going to be fun. So it's like, we got up that morning. We ate, a pretty good, healthy breakfast. But it's like, I don't want to eat. I
Right,
don't want
like
to feel
too close to
terrible.
it.
And like my biggest thing is I don't want to have to go to the bathroom in
Oh,
the middle of this
yeah.
race.
That's so true.
Like, we spent the day, like we ate good. We ate bananas. We
Yeah.
ate protein
Try to
bars,
get your carbs up.
electrolytes,
Yes.
and all of the things. And like kind of went into the race almost not really on empty, but like
We weren't
properly
empty.
fueled, but not like full of eating a bunch of carbs and stuff.
Yeah.
We had bananas right before, but the last meal we had was about an hour and a half beforehand.
Okay.
The week leading up to it, I had to increase my carbs by like 30 grams.
So you kind of carb loaded a little bit?
Oh yeah, and
Okay.
tried to like build up throughout the week. We were in Miami and it was hot, so
Yeah.
we took plenty of electrolytes. We're drinking like electrolytes all day. Still kind of cramped a little bit. I think it was just fatigue, honestly. But other than that, like
Did you take anything during, like, the gel packs or anything like
No,
that?
That made me nervous. We've never taken those before. And so, lesson learned, maybe next time we'll experiment.
It's your first one.
Right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people take it during the row, like when they're switching
Well,
out.
that was my next question. Like, it's continuous race. So when do you even have time to do that?
They'll just slam it while their partner's
Yeah.
doing the workout. And it's like, but the other thing about it is you can't like get anything from anybody during the race. So anything that you want to take, like the gel packs or anything like that, like you have to carry it with you the entire time.
Okay.
But they do have, so like when you go in between the running loop and the exercises, there's what they call the rock zone. And there's electrolytes, Red Bull, and water stations. So like as we got toward the end of it all, like we would hit the electrolyte station, grab a cup from that, drink that on the way to the water station, grab a shot of the water, and then hit the
And keep
exit
going.
and go on.
Huh.
I did add the Red Bull at one point, and I was like, I think I need this, but I might also have a heart attack.
Yeah.
It's like because your heart rate's already so high.
Yeah, I don't know about the Red Bull. I think I might have to pass on.
Yeah, I think I would have unlocked Zone 6 if I would have had a Red Bull in the middle of it.
So let's go to like, what did you think would be the hardest thing, like going into the race, like the most challenging part ahead of time?
For me, I thought the burpee broad jumps would be hard because I have like little baby hops. Like, so I was like, this is going to take me forever to get through the broad jump part of this. But I thought the burpee broad jumps, I thought the rower would be hard. I'm just not efficient with the rower. Back when I first started here, Uriel at one point was like, you'll get it when you get it. And all these years later, I still haven't
The
got
rower
it.
is so much more technical than people give it credit
is.
for.
Yeah.
To be honest,
It
like I
really
think
is.
people look at it, it's like running. You just sit and pull, and I'm like, no, there's like,
There's technique
right.
to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it always like blows people's mind whenever I'm like, this is a lower body exercise, not an upper body. Like you're pushing with your legs. You're not pulling as hard as you can with your arms. And it just like blows their mind.
Yeah.
yes.
So I thought I would struggle with that. And then the wall balls. I think I came like right when you guys were phasing that out of the programming. So I've done them like maybe once or twice. So just figuring out the timing on that, I thought would be not like the actual movement, but the timing of like catching it on the way down. And
Yeah, and if you haven't done those a lot before, like it kind of depends, like if you practiced it at all, like it depends on what you're throwing it against. Like throwing it to like one of the targets on a rig is different than throwing it against a wall or like.
What did y'all throw it against?
So they had pretty much like a rig just like this, but there was a target plate on it. And the target plate was kind of angled, but there's a women's target and a men's target.
That was my next question.
So it was probably maybe about 1.5 foot difference between the two. So the biggest thing with the wall balls is you can get no repped.
That was my
during it.
next question. So
if
they
you
no
don't-
rep?
Oh yeah. There's a judge that sits behind you, and then you have like a little display screen in front of you that counts your reps. And if you don't go below 90 degrees with your squat, it doesn't count. And if you don't hit the center of the target, it doesn't count.
there's a little sensor on the center of it. So if you don't
okay.
get the sensor,
Yeah.
yeah.
They've added so much technology into this stuff nowadays.
They have.
They got the screen in front of you. So
Right.
I guess the judges maybe like, is he connected to something
Yeah, they
that
have, like, a
updates
little
it?
iPad looking thing that like they can no rep it from there.
So high tech.
That is.
I love it.
Yeah, like when we went early and we're just watching, like, let's go check it out. So we went over that morning and we were watching people just get no rep left and right. And it's like, it was a lot of squat depth.
Yeah.
So they always had these little boxes and they would just come and set a box behind you. And it's like, go down and hit the box.
So they'll give you a target, like if you continuously not hit it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool.
that is cool.
So then, do you have to make up those reps, or do you get penalized like time?
You just
Was.
keep going until you get the 100.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, Brett, what did you think was going to be the hardest?
Running, 100% running. I am.
That would be me too.
I am with you on
I mean,
that
I
one.
was a baseball guy growing up. So, we ran a very short burst. So, like, I've always been a sprinter more than a runner. I can't long distance run at all. So, I was like, if I don't die on the running, I think I'll be okay.
Okay, yeah.
But the running I thought would be bad, which it kind of wasn't. Like, I did okay with the running. But then the burpee broad jumps, I was like, those get my heart rate up to start with. and let alone 80 meters of it in the middle of all of this. But other than that, I wasn't really super concerned with anything too much besides those two.
So then what ended up actually being the hardest? Was it what you thought, or was it different?
No, it was different. So one of the there's like two funny things that were actually really difficult that I wasn't expecting. One, keeping count of the laps on the run. So your first lap out, you come from this Red Bull start tunnel. So you're on the other side of the building. So you run around and you're counting how many times you pass the end tunnel for the rock zone. So the first lap, you went in on the third time, and then every lap after that, or every run after that, you went in the second time you passed the in arch.
I'm already lost.
I know.
Yeah, so it's like you run 2.5 laps, and then it seems simple. You just run 2 laps, and that's it.
Is the judge not? Wouldn't the judge usually count that?
It's really cool because you have a transmitter that you put on your ankle. So when you're coming through the back half of the lap, there is a screen that's up, and you run through a timing loop. And when you look at the screen, it will say Brett Williams, Michaela Williams, lap 1, run, or lap 2, go to exercise 5, or whatever it is. So like it will tell you if you look.
Okay.
But there were
it's
so
like
many
the brain
people.
fog of, oh my gosh, we're in the middle of all of this and
Yeah.
like trying to get everything
Well, and your heartbeat's like
going.
in your ears, and
It's like you lose track so easy.
and you have to stay together, right?
You
Because
have to.
you're
Mhm.
like
Within,
competing
I think
together.
it was 5 seconds of each other.
Yeah.
So it started every time we would pass in. I'd say that's in one, and we would communicate that because there were a couple times we would just be zoned in and then look at each other like, have we passed in yet? I don't know if we've passed in.
Oh,
Yeah,
Abby
then
and
we
I
would
could
see the
definitely
TV and
not
be
do
like,
this
"Oh, keep
together.
going."
No.
Abby and I would both be running like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With our fingers.
With our fingers.
Yeah.
Because he was saying the screen, but there's so many people around you that like it doesn't scroll fast enough. So I didn't see our names very often.
Yeah, you really had to pay attention for
Instant
it.
anxiety. I wasn't even there, and I'm anxious.
Right.
Like I struggle to count reps in here sometimes,
Yeah.
let alone keep track of all of that.
So that was a funny thing. But then physically, the sled pulls, it was one of the first times in a really long time that I've like really felt weak. We've practiced it in here. We had practiced it. We went to the Y like a couple times and practiced on their sled, and that was terrible turf. But
Did they have like a carpet turf? Or?
yeah,
It was like pulling a sled through concrete. It was terrible.
But even still, that felt easier than the sled pull on
There.
Hyrox for
So
whatever reason.
At that event, was it the sleds like we have here, or was it the ones on the wheels
It's like these.
like these?
Mhm.
Okay.
So what about the rope? Is it like a thick or like a thin?
It's thinner than the one we have here, and it was like gray, and it almost felt more elastic.
It was a synthetic rope. So like the rope was actually really, really nice. And like a lot of people were doing, you would grab the
Michaela's
rope,
like-
stand up and pull back a few steps and then walk back forward. But it's like, people were struggling pulling that sled. But thankfully with the stuff we've done, like I could just plant my feet and just
Right.
row it because of the stuff we do here.
Did
so
they
like,
have
that
any
made a huge
rules
difference.
about putting like your body into it, or
No, so
rules?
there's like a technique that the Hyroxers do. And it's like you
Oh,
squat
tell me.
down and you pull and you like stand back with it, and then you walk it
Right,
back.
right. Uh-huh.
And so there's like a box, and you can't step out of the box. And with it being so
Gotcha.
heavy, like that's the method that I was having to use because I could not pull it hand over hand.
What
but
is the weight for?
it's 225, 227?
Yeah, 230 pounds, somewhere like that.
Okay.
yeah, like
for,
you had to like
for the
put your
mixed
whole
doubles.
body into
Yes.
it.
for both of you.
Or-
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So really on the sled pull, it turned into I was spending my time doing it for as
So he could
long as
rest.
he needed to rest.
Yeah.
And then he would just pull it to us. And he did really good on that. Like on the results page, it like ranks each of those, like each of the exercises. And he did really good on that. Like,
Yeah, we passed a
Nice.
lot of people on sled pull.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
no thanks to
That was
me.
Brett's time to shine.
Yeah. Good job,
That
Brett.
was like my one highlight of the whole race.
That's one of the fun thing about doing like a partner thing though is like usually like there where somebody has strengths, another person has like something they're not as good at, and then like each person kind of pull their weight and like be like, yeah, it really helped us.
Yeah.
Through that
Yeah,
part.
that was my gold star moment.
It was. It was. I thought also wall balls. We both kind of ended up struggling on there. We got there. We were feeling okay. I did 20 straight out and like was proud of that. And then we switched, and then the ball got sweaty. And then when the ball got sweaty, it all kind of fell apart.
No.
Because I
Brett, was that your fault?
That was my not gold star moment.
I couldn't grip it. So there were a couple times that like I would squat and then I would go up, but it would like slide in my hand, and then I would have to go back and squat again because I couldn't throw it.
Were you not allowed to have chalk? No?
There's buckets of chalk at certain stations.
Okay.
And I did not see any at the
Not
wall
at
ball
wall
station.
balls.
And
It's not a common chalk movement.
we are both sweaty people. And like in here, I'm used to having my sweat towel. So that was actually one of my big concerns going into Hyrox.
Could you not have a sweat towel?
I
If
didn't
you
want to have
carried
to
it.
carry it
Yeah.
through all of that.
Were a lot of people wearing like running belts or something?
There were a few, but I didn't see a ton with them on. But there are a few.
See, that would drive me nuts. I don't want to have to take care of anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
That's a lot.
I would be
I
that
thought this, like,
Hyroxer
free
that
band
shows up.
thing. I was using, I
random
don't think it was a sweatband. I think it was
I
like
didn't
a
want to
grip
carry any
band.
more weight than I already had to.
What? How many was it again on the wall balls?
100.
So did y'all have a like method going? Like, were you going to do 20? You do 20, or
We started out 10 and like our plan was 10 and 10, but we had game planned like leading up to it and kind of talked about our splits, and the plan was 10 and 10. But when we got there, I was feeling okay. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep going until I need to stop. So I did 20, and then we started going back 10 and 10. And there were a few times like I did 6 at one point and like kind of mentally fell apart because I couldn't hold the ball. So I just gave it to him and was like, you just got to do this for a second.
You created this problem. You deal with this problem.
And then at the end, I think the last 10, we were both like kind of cooked. And so,
because it's the last event, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I was like,
And
just
then
do
you have to
5.
run again.
No.
No,
The wall balls
no.
is it.
Oh, okay.
You just have to sprint to the finish line.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So we split those up.
So, like, I don't know, percentage wise or whatever, how much did you stick to your game plan overall? Like, looking back, did you kind of stick to it, or did you
Yeah.
end up?
Yeah, I would say we stuck to it probably about 80% as to what we did. You know, we had to split a little bit more on the sled pushes and a little bit more on the sled pulls. I leaned on her a little bit more on the lunges because, as me and Nick like to joke, I got them old man knees. So I leaned on her a little bit more for the lunges and a little bit more for the wall balls. So, I mean, it ended up balancing out. I would say overall it was very much a 50-50 split, but we stayed to our plan probably 80%.
What
Yeah.
was your plan for like your pace for the runs?
So typically, we're both like the Turtle Running Club. So
Same.
we like my comfortable pace for that distance is usually like an 11 and a half.
Okay.
We dropped it down a little bit. It was hard because I wasn't keeping track of like each run. I just had like my watch set to just keep the whole time. But we were right at like our
Probably right
normal
at.
training pace, which would have been an 11 and a half to 12 minute
What
Yeah,
pace.
and it's like it's also hard to keep your pace up the whole time you're running because, I mean, you know, we're slower than some, faster than others. So like you're constantly getting passed by some people, passing people, having to move in and out of traffic and everything. So like,
It's not just like running straight.
yeah,
Right. And running under fatigue is way different than just straight running.
yeah,
Yeah, because
So-
you have those events in between. Which 8 kilometers is what again in miles?
5.4, I think,
5.4. Okay.
somewhere around in that
Something like
neighborhood.
just over 5.
But
Okay.
then the sneaky part of the Hyrox is there's the distance between the in and out loops to the run, and then the entrances and exits of your exercises. And at some of the venues, people say that like that will add almost an entire kilometer to it. So like if you're trying to run in and out or just like keep a steady jog through it, like you're adding an extra kilometer to your overall distance.
Trying to trick you into more running.
Yes.
So, are there any places that you like outperformed your expectations? I know you kind of talked about like the sled pull. Anywhere else that you felt like you really excelled?
Definitely the lunges. Like, you know, I do have them old man knees, but I think the biggest thing of it is we just didn't stop. Like, you know, we would just, because you have to stand all the way up before you go back down and you have to make contact with the ground. But like we just didn't have to stand there and take any breaths or breaks or anything. And if you got tired, you just rotate off to the next person and move on. And we passed a lot of people doing the lunges because like on everything you have a lane. But if you run into somebody, you just swap over to the next lane and go around them and keep going. So we made up a lot of ground on that. And then I was personally proud of us on the running because like we didn't stop on that either. Like there was, you have your typical running people that they will come out and run super fast for about 30 seconds and then walk.
Yeah.
But it's like, there was a lot of
You were
that going
consistent.
on. And like we were moving slow, but we just kept moving the whole time.
Well,
You know, in the running community, they call like a slow pace, like they call it a party pace. And
A
I really
party
love that
pace.
term. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be like, I ran a party pace.
I love
It's just
that.
like,
I didn't
whatever.
know that.
That's
Yeah.
us. We're
I might
party
have been
pace
late
people.
to the party pace with the speed I was
No.
going.
So what was the atmosphere like?
It was a super cool atmosphere. And I think, too, part of it, like being in Miami, added to it. But just in the event, like the convention center, it was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we went in early that morning just to watch and, like, just to check it out. And, like, I think it was, like, the pro men running.
It was
So that
some
was cool.
elite specimens of people running. We walked in and I was like, we are in trouble
I know, I was
this
like,
afternoon.
I don't belong here. But it was super cool. Like the music was really loud. There were people like lining the fences around like the running track part and each of the like exercises. And like everyone was just cheering for everybody like throughout the whole thing. Even when we were running, like people we didn't know were like, cheering for you and stuff.
Yeah, and like it's super cool, and that's like the whole it's you versus yourself and the clock
Yeah.
because like you're competing against all of these people, but it's like everybody there wanted the best for everybody else that was there with
Yeah.
them.
I
And it's
love
like
that.
if they beat you, they beat you. Good for them. Like they did a good job.
Yeah.
Like everybody was super positive. If there were people that had like stopped along the course or whatever, people were encouraging them to keep going.
Keep going.
And it was just really, really neat to see that
There
type of
was, like, a-
camaraderie.
Yeah, camaraderie. That's what I was about to say.
I think too, people are concerned about the judges and like they are giving penalties and stuff, but they were your biggest cheerleaders. Like on the burpee broad jumps, I was getting close to the end and I was fading a little bit, and the judge that was standing like with us, going with us, making sure we were getting all the way down, she was like, "You got it, 2 more." And I just look at her and I was like, "You have way too much faith in my ability to jump right now." And she's like, "You got it."
So your judge was good though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That judge and then the one at the wall
At the wall
balls
balls,
was
yeah.
super cool. And then like going into the race, they have like a warm-up zone, which was really neat. And then you go into the Red Bull's like start tunnel, and you go in 10 minutes beforehand. And there's like this MC in there, and he was like hyping us up, and the music was really loud, and it was like just cool songs. And one thing that he said that really stuck out to me was like, he said something about you are racing each other, but the course is going to get tough. And when it gets tough, you lean into each other. And so I think just in general, like they were really encouraging that atmosphere. And we felt that throughout.
Yeah.
And then there were vendors, and they had like different water like cans and stuff that they gave you after. And it was just cool. It was fun. Kind of felt like a fun, like
Like a party.
a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a convention.
And I mean, like, even after the fact, like, we're leaving this race. We're both super hungry at this point. Mm-hmm. And, we're drenched in sweat. Looks like we've just got out of the shower. And there's just random people. We were walking to get a restaurant, and this lady was like, "Hey, congratulations." And, like, she had no idea whether we made it, whether we didn't, if we ran a sub 60 or a 2.5 hour time. But she was like, "You guys did it. That's awesome."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was actually my next question, was if you had talked to any of the other people competing, or if you met anybody cool that was competing alongside of you.
Yeah, we talked to some people like in line. I think everyone was like, "Is this your first race?"
Yeah.
But other than that, like the people that we started with and kind of got to bond with in that start tunnel, we all just dissipated and stuff.
Yeah.
But we talked to people that were from like New York and I can't remember where all.
But all over
All
the
over.
US pretty
Oh, yeah.
much.
So I feel like we could kind of wrap up by, could you all walk us through the race And then just kind of give us like what would be your advice as you go through like each station.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is out the gate is just pace yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, because it's so easy when you're so hyped up at the start to just, I'm going to run as fast as I can. And so I go out there, run your race. Don't try to outrun everybody else. Like, run your pace. Don't blow yourself up. Everybody talks about the ski erg, which, it'll spike your heart rate to start with. It's like, just keep a calm pace and get through the first bit of it.
Yeah. The sled push is the second station you come to. And with that, like, you talk about it being grunt work, just keep low and just keep moving. It's heavy and it's slow. And I think I had heard beforehand and agree, like, take more breaks on that than you think you need.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing doubles, like, just take that extra second and do a transition before you start feeling the like heaviness in your legs. Because after that, like, the runs get a little more challenging.
That pacing like that y'all are talking about is a skill.
It really is. Yeah.
Like it gets better the more you do it, but I feel like people have to learn how to pace.
Yeah. And I feel like Hyrox is kind of tricky because the sled push and pull and all of that is at the front, and you think that's going to be the harder part, but later in the race, like, those skills and exercises are more difficult. So really pacing early on is huge.
Yeah, and like the sled pulls are difficult, but it's just more so don't try to do too much too quickly on it, because it's not that far of a distance, but like there was people that were just not wanting to swap out and that were just blowing themselves up at it. So it's like, go until you get tired, swap out if you're doing doubles, let your partner go, come back, and do it when you're a little more rested, and don't just expend all of your energy trying to get through one station.
Yeah.
After the sled pull and the next run, you go into the burpee broad jumps. And I think those are they sound easy, but there's like technique to pace yourself. And even in class, like, I've always just really pushed myself to jump back forward, and like do a full burpee. But leading up to the race and then during the race, like, I would jump back, but then I would step forward, and you can even like put your knee down and like to come back up. And then when you get there and you do your jump, go straight back down into the burpee, and like not try to stay up tall, and like just stay low and keep your heart rate down. And then don't try to jump too far.
That was actually my next question. Do they
I
have
made
a
that.
distance that they want you to jump?
There's like a grid marked off on the floor, and like you don't have to clear a certain mark or anything. Like, the only line that matters is the start line and the end line.
Okay.
But
So you could literally do like a little baby jump.
yeah, and it's like that was my biggest mistake that I made, was I was trying to jump as far as I could in between of them, and it kind of smoked my legs a little bit at it. And that was like my poorest moment of communication, is I was dying laying there in those burpees. But I was like, I've got to do my part. And she was fine. And we got done with the burpees, and she was like, you good? And I was like, nope.
Nope.
And I was like, I'm going to need a second here before we get back into all
And I
of
didn't know
this.
it. Like, I could have done more burpees. But I thought he was fine. He looked fine to me.
It's that game of like trying to do less burpees and like do, I guess, bigger jumps. But it's like we talk about on Power Day of like doing like a max effort jump is actually kind of like doing a heavy lift.
It really is.
Like,
Yeah.
it really does tire you out. So yeah, I can imagine. No.
Then afterwards, you got to the row.
Yeah, and the row, that's, you're crossing the halfway point when you get to the row. And it's like, that is when the fatigue really started to set in. It's like, you're getting tired. You've gone through the heavy stations of the sleds. And it's like, the rower is not that bad. Like, I really like the rower. But it's like you say, it's still a lower body workout. And it's like, you've just got done running. You've done all of these sleds. Now your legs are burning doing the rowers. And it's like, I think that was the point that we're like, okay, I'm going to hit and grab one of these water cups on the way out, because you have a decent amount of ground to cover between the exit of the exercises and the start of the run. So it's like, you can grab the cup off the table drink it while you're still moving it, and then just hit the trash can on your way out and keep going, because for whatever reason the thirst was unreal at this race in the middle of it. So it's like every time we exited the exercise, I'm like, all right, electrolytes on the way to the water on the way to the exit.
That Miami heat
moving.
was getting you.
It was. And then after the row was the farm carry, and that you just run the little loop twice. I think it was pretty easy.
Yeah, I think the hardest part of the farmer carry is that it was super quick. So it's like you're done with the run, and then you're immediately right back into the run. Because I think we spent, like a minute doing the farmer carries or so. Like, it really wasn't that long of an exercise to go in between the two runs.
I think if you're doing a doubles, like, just go as far as you can and then switch, just keep it moving.
Yeah, because you also it's the 52-pound kettlebells in it. So it's like, we're used to doing that and more for a lot of time in here. So it's like we both thought that those kettlebells, like, we picked them up in the warm-up area, and it's like, oh, these are light.
Yeah, I mean, I think you do the red kettlebells typically during farmers in class. So, and we do 100 and 200 meter carries often.
It was easy. And then the sandbag lunges. Those weren't that bad. I think practice your transitions beforehand. Like, practicing it to get it off and get it on the next person without spending too much time. Other than that, just keep it moving.
Yeah, because it's like the way that we would do it is, thankfully we have a little bit of a height difference. So, she would stop and I would just grab the side of it and pick it up over my head, put it on my shoulders and go on. But when we would swap to her, she would just turn her back to me and I would just drop it onto her shoulders and go.
What was the weight on that one?
42 pounds. I think it was 42 pounds.
I can't remember on that.
And y'all knew these weights beforehand, right?
Yeah,
when
we
you were training.
Looked them up, and we actually bought a sandbag and a wall ball just to practice those two things beforehand.
It's like the pro weights for the men are heavier, and then like your open men and your mixed doubles and everything are all like the broadest group, and then like your open women have lighter weights.
Gotcha.
The pro women use the mixed and the open men's weights.
Yeah.
So. And then the 100 wall balls.
Yeah. It's like you have the adrenaline there of like, I have made it. This is the last station. I mean, and I think it was like a 12-pound ball or something. It wasn't much. It's like, I'm just doing 100 squats with a 12-pound weight. It's not that bad. And you're like, I'm almost there, but it's awful. It's like just getting the timing right is the biggest thing of it.
There are people that are really good at it, though. So it's just the more you practice.
It just takes practice.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Like, if someone from BPG is wanting to do a Hyrox, what are like 3 things you would suggest for them to do, or like what would be the major changes?
Yeah, it's like if you're one of those people that are here, Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday, and you give a good amount of effort during these classes and try to better yourself, you're going to be set on the weight stations. Like, we both were kind of concerned on part of the exercises, but the exercises were honestly one of the easier parts of it. It's like the stations aren't the problem, the running is the problem.
Yeah.
And it's like just being able, like, if you're here 6 days a week, that's great. You're still going to die when it comes to the running. So it's like you've got to add in the long distance running, the running under fatigue, and working out while you're tired. Like, we would come and run, a mile or so before power day would even start. Or then we would do power day and then run a little bit after. And it's like just working and running and doing those exercises while you're already tired is just the biggest gap that I would see.
You're just trying to build that capacity to train under fatigue.
Yeah, because it is 5 miles. So it's like over time you have to work up to the volume of just like being capable of running like 5 miles at one time.
Yeah.
And then on top
of
of that, having the other things intertwined. So that takes some time.
Yeah. And just in general, like pushing your weights, making sure you're challenging yourself in class. And then you're recovering well if you're taking
that
the
nutrition, water, sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think all of that, in addition to the running. That's just the big thing.
So are you all going to do another Hyrox?
Yes. We signed up for DC in September. We're going to do another mixed doubles. And then I think there's one coming to Nashville in December, and we're toying with the idea of doing an individual.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's like we want to go back and do another mixed doubles because, I mean, I'm a highly competitive person to start with. And it's like, we had a target in mind of 2 hours to start with. We did a full practice. We beat that 2 hour time. So we're like, okay, let's go for an hour 45. So we hit that goal on it, but it's like there were still some mistakes that we had made along the way. And like, I think our biggest thing is we didn't push ourselves as far as we could have. So it's like, I want to go back, and our target this time is an hour and a half. So it's like, we're going to try to push the running a little bit more, push ourselves in the exercise a little bit more. It's like, if we can cross that threshold on the doubles, then we both want to try and do it as a singles for ourselves.
Very cool.
I appreciate those steps of like attainable goals as you go too, because it keeps you, like we talked about, going like all in way too fast and then being more injury prone or maybe burning out or whatever. So I like appreciate just having those little intervals of steps too.
Yeah, because it's like, we were super happy to have hit the goal that we had, but it's like, there was people that were running 2.5 hours that were just as happy as we were. So it's like, there's no right or wrong answer as to how fast you want to go. It's like, yeah, you have people out there running this thing in 50 minutes. And it's like, good for y'all. It's like, like happy for you. But
everyone's starting different places.
Yeah, like everybody has their own targets. And like, you set yourself a goal that you can meet and you go from there.
It's you versus you.
Yep.
You versus you. I wish they could, listening, they could see your shirt because you have it on there.
Well, that's awesome. And I think that we definitely have some other people here at BPG who are interested or have seen it and like thinking about it. So hopefully they'll get some good nuggets from this podcast and
if you
take your
are
advice.
one of those people, just come ask Brett and Michaela.
Yeah.
More,
It's
if you have more questions.
super fun. Super fun.
We like to talk about it.
Yeah.